You get the sense, mercenary kind of comes to mind when you're looking at them. Well-armed group of humans. And as you kind of glance to the south, you can see the windmill up on a raised hill. And past that, you can see the keep, which also has been, you can see in different areas, has been smashed. And you even kind of seen some of that as you were coming up the road, some of the smash. So whatever's hit this, I mean, your first idea is, catapult or whatever had been throwing rocks at this town. Like, it was a major, there's so many rocks around. That's about as much as you've gotten as far as what you've got from your look as you walk in. And you can see Alara here, and she introduces herself as Alara. She's a town guard, and you can see cuts on her armor. You can see blood that has come out of the armor, but it looks like maybe she's bandaged up a few things. She is holding a spear and wears leather armor, and definitely looks rough for the wear. Like, she's definitely had a trying several days, and has that look in her eye as far as that. And she mentions to you as you walk in, she says, if you'll stay here a moment, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of the other occupants of the town. I'm sure they would like to speak with you. And she kind of walks over to where the broken window is on the chapel.
Before she goes, though, I offer, you look like you've suffered quite the grievous wound there. I could care for that if you'd like.
She looks at you and says, yeah, that would be, I had the Druid take a look at me, and he said the bleeding has stopped, but if you think there's more that you could do, certainly.
All right, I'll do cure wounds on her.
Okay. So
1d8 plus, if I knew what my spellcasting ability modifier was, I'd know that piece.
Should be charisma, I believe.
Charisma, 3.
Yeah. So go ahead, you can type in /r space 1d8 plus 3 in the chat area, and that should roll it for you.
Okay.
She's back to full. Okay, and this is the first time we get to see you casting a Cure Light Wound spell. So what does it look like for Ardreth the Bard? What does this look like? What does healing wounds for you look like?
For him, it's actually more of a hands-on type of motion. You can get a light glow from the area that he's touching. So not a real flashy one. A little bit more of a subtle spell with a glowing kind of aura about his hands.
Okay, awesome.
At least in this case while he's close by.
Yeah, and she's actually surprised because she wasn't, when she thought you had said, let me just see if there's anything in shoes, she thought maybe you'd change a bandage or whatever, and then you actually use an ability that she does not have, and her eyes go wide. But she definitely is very thankful, and she definitely seems a lot healthier. The cheeks, the color comes back to her face, all the wounds heal up underneath the arm, and let me put her back at the same, so she's back to full. Okay. And she says, thank you very much. And she says, if you'll just wait here just a moment, I'm going to go grab the adventurers. And she kind of walks over to this. There's a broken window here that you can see. It's a big broken stained glass window. And she kind of, not really shouts, but kind of calls into the chapel and says, we have another visitor. If you might want to come out and have a talk with this person. And then she kind of goes back and she stands with you. So you guys in the church hear that. You hear Alara the guard speak to you through the broken window.
More guests for my inn. I'll be right back.
All right. So you see a dwarf coming. Go ahead and Greybeard. What does Ardreth see as you approach him? Give him a description of what you look like.
So he's got a red bandana, a black vest, a red shirt, red and black striped pants, and 2 scimitars, a great axe, and a quiver with 4 javelins. And he comes with a big smile. He's got a bushy beard with 1 little gray stripe. and he comes smiling with a big paw out like he's going to shake your hand.
All right. Well, then I will offer my hand in return.
Big crushy...
And tell him greetings. My name's Ardreth Fairfarin. Good to meet you.
Greybeard. And he kind of really squeezes your paw and says, well, I got an inn over here. I don't know if there's any rooms available, some stones through it, but you're welcome to stay.
Is there beer?
There could be.
If there's beer, it sounds good. I'll sleep under a table when I'm done.
Sold.
So it looks like you've got quite the mess around this place between the blood and the rocks and the stones. Looks almost as hairy as what I encountered in the south on my way here.
A giant cloud city throwing boulders from the sky?
Oh, only 3 orcs, not quite as tumultuous as stones falling from the sky.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let me introduce you to some good folks, and then I'll turn you over to the thugs at the inn.
Alara's going to bow to you as you two are discussing that, and she says, I'm going to resume my post, and she's going to move back to the top of the tower, and she said, well met, Ardreth, and she goes back and stands watch up at the tower. She actually lights 2 torches first at the front of the gate as it's starting to get dark, and then she climbs back up on top of the tower. All right, group in the chapel. Is Greybeard the only one coming out for greeting, or?
I go over to the window that's broken, and can I see them out there from there?
Yeah. Yep, you can see them.
So.
Yeah, you see, and you could probably overhear him. It's not that far over. Greybeard's not being quiet.
On the way over too, I start talking to Greybeard in Dethic, which is the Dwarven common tongue, right? Asking him how he fares and how the fight went for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the bear was hogging all the kills, but I got a good lick in here and there. I showed him. I took a bunch of hits and shoved him off.
So this building here is the inn that Greybeard's talking about. And then, are you just going to the door? Because the lieutenant's still kind of standing at the door, or are you bringing him into the chapel?
I was taking him to the chapel. I said I would introduce him to some people first.
Yeah. Okay. And you're just going to follow along?
Yep.
Ardreth? Okay, yeah. So you guys are in the chapel, and you walk through a door that's basically right in this area, and you see, Ardreth, as you walk in, you see a chapel that has several wooden pews. It's pretty sparse. You see several people resting in various stages of sitting or standing or hanging out or even laying down as you enter the building. You do see signs of a scuffle even inside this building, so it's obvious that there probably was a battle in part of this building. There was a large scuffling outside of this battle. There was blood and various things as you walked around, so there's definitely been a big battle right in this area, in fact. And just before you walked in, you noticed to the north a graveyard. So there's a graveyard that's attached to this chapel.
Okay.
And then you walk in, and I will let the other characters kind of describe themselves to you. What does Ardreth see? Go ahead and give him a description of you guys. So as he sees the different people.
Can I introduce him real quick?
Sure.
First I say, I look at you, and I look at Armel, and I look at you, and I look at Armel, and I'm like, well, he kind of looks like you. That's Armel. And then I look at Jarral, and I say, he's dark elf, that's Jarral. He has as many whiskers as my mum. Then there's Teagraiel. He's all right. I didn't know he was a guy until like a week ago. And then there's Ian, who rocks. She has a great bow. And who else? Who am I missing? Nope, that's it.
dwarves think everyone who's not a dwarf looks alike, so don't be offended by him. No.
I've met many in my time, and I'd have to say the impression of looking alike isn't common. There isn't a stereotype amongst just dwarfs of others, but of others of dwarfs.
And in this close proximity, would they be able to tell you're half elf at this point?
I mean, I've got elvish ears, right?
Okay.
But red hair.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if we have any other half elves. Do we? Everybody else is full elf?
A human, thank you very much.
And a human. Yep. Well, your tokens look pretty similar. You guys look like your brothers.
I just went to a page that said, "I want to worship him," and found that one, and it was the soulmate picture right next to it. So
Yeah.
we're good to go.
Okay, so yeah, as Greybeard's describing you, who did you start with, Greybeard? Who did you introduce first? Was it Jarral?
Armel.
Oh, Armel. So Armel, go ahead and give him a physical description so he knows what he's looking at.
I look like a woodsman with red hair, and I'm actually sitting in the corner meditating, but I will crack an eye and give you a head nod in greeting.
All right, and then the next person introduced was
Jarral.
Jarral. So go ahead and give him a description of Jarral.
So when he makes the comment about the whiskers, Jarral kind of glances sideways at Greybeard and says, "You dwarves are very strange. I guess there's no modesty within the dwarven family. I don't know why your mother would let you look at her whiskers." So
All right.
So Jarral, he kind of wears a leather, not a cape, but something that kind of drapes down the back. It covers the shoulders. It's leather. It's buttoned in the front. It's pulled down so you can see his hair. He's got you can see his elvish ears. His skin is like a charcoal color. He's got a striking white, kind of a goatee. And he's got red eyes. His hair on top is white. It's kind of a styled, I guess. It's a short haircut, but it's a styled haircut. I don't know how to describe that. And obviously you can see he's got elvish ears. Obviously a drow.
Awesome. And I think the next introduction was for Teagraiel, or was it Ian?
Teagraiel was next.
All right, Teagraiel, what does he see as Greybeard is introducing you?
A thin, pale elf with long ears, blue eyes, white hair, dressed in robes with a staff and lots of parchment and papers falling out of his backpack.
Like a wizard name tag? Wizard.
Yep.
All right.
I cast spells is what it said.
And then Ian, as the last one to be introduced by Greybeard, as he's gesturing towards you, what does Ardreth see?
You see me leaning against to the side of the broken window. I'm looking at you extremely suspiciously. I have a phenomenal resting bitch face, and that's sort of what's looking at you right now. I'm fair. Oh god, what is it? I have coppery, like a copper tone tan. I have brown hair. I have striking blue eyes. I'm wearing leather armor that covers basically all of me, and what isn't leather armor is a long sleeve shirt under. That is green, so it's brown and green, something to easily match into the surrounding forest. You see a bow sticking out from behind me, probably a quiver full of arrows. I have a dagger to one side, I have a hand axe to the other, and and a staff, to leaning on one side. So you know how you like cross over your bow where the string's in front of you, and it's sort of like a bag. The bow end is sticking out over my right shoulder, and over my left shoulder you see what would be a staff next to my quiver. That's what you see.
All right. Well, it is a pleasure to meet all of you. I traveled many, many weeks to get to this place based on some advice of my mother, and faced a number of orcs on my way to get through here to the town, but I see based on the blood and rocks around that you've had no lack of fun yourselves.
We are all
Jarral
about
raises
fun.
his eyebrow at the mother comment.
I'm just looking you up and down. Very untrusting.
I thump him with the back of my hand in the belly, and I'm like, "Yeah, mums, see."
So, Greybeard, you said there was beer in this place.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go look.
All right. And so I will go with Greybeard to find beer.
Okay. Yeah, so if you guys are heading over to the inn,
What time of
you
day
see
is it?
the sun has just went down, so
Okay.
we're right past that point of dusk, so it has actually gotten dark. The light that you see at the moment is from a campfire around some humans that are near the inn as you come out the door, and then also 2 torches that are lit on the tower so that they can see on the drawbridge. And you're not seeing any lights anywhere else in the village. So you guys want to move over to the door. The door to the inn is on the south side there, and if you're walking over towards that, you see a human kind of leaning up against the door jamb and just kind of hanging out there, and he's kind of watches you to approach.
So as they're doing that, I'm gonna take the other entrance. I'm gonna go through the other entrance. Trying to find the leader guy.
That is the only entrance there. There's the smashed building part up at the top. I don't know why they put a road there that makes it look like there's a door, but there's not.
Oh, okay. All right, then I will follow them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he kind of looks you up and down as you start to walk up, Greybeard, and he's kind of looking at you questioningly as you're walking towards him.
Questioningly towards Greybeard or towards me?
Towards Greybeard.
Gotcha.
And he's kind of standing in the way-ish of the door.
Hey, fellas, this is Ardreth. He's come to maybe play a song or something, and maybe get a beer or two if anybody's got one.
Yeah, he looks at you and he says, well, yeah, we haven't even checked the kitchen yet. We could go and take a look to see if there's any beer left in the inn.
Well, it's an inn. It would be a sad state of affairs if there was no beer left.
Yeah, he chuckles and says, yeah, that's what our hope is that that is true. But we just arrived ourselves, so we're not really too sure. But yeah, let's go in and take a look.
Yeah, let's go check
and
my
there's
cellar.
Yeah. There is an area that's up toward the kitchen part is up here in the north part of the inn on the first floor. So without moving you guys to the other part of the map, we'll just kind of play it out without moving to there. You guys walk through the inn, which the first room you're in, which is, let me just draw it on the map a little bit.
So those guys are going to find the beer. I'm gonna peel off and go upstairs to find this the leader.
Peel off is good. I thought you said you were doing something else in the inn.
No.
So this area here looked like the common room, but has been smashed through with a large boulder. And there's a set of stairways lead up right about here. And then this is the kitchen area. That was kind of this area in general.
And I'd like.
And this is all just like a hallway.
I'd like to stealth doing that.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. All right, let me do a roll. Yeah, he doesn't notice that you had peeled off at the end there. And he continues on to the door is open to the kitchen area, and you guys can go and try to root through the kitchen to see if there's any beers. And you should be able to find like a cask that and some mugs that you can pick up off the floor as they've been scattered all around, and grab a mug of ale.
And is there any food in there too?
If you're rooting around, yeah, you'll find, various breads and cheese. A lot of stuff has been ransacked.
Perfect. Okay.
And is missing. So this room has the look of being sacked at some point.
All right.
But you guys are all in that top area.
All right. Well, I'll grab the keg and some mugs and some food and say, Greybeard, let's drink.
Right. Yep. Tell you what, on the house tonight, fellas.
And then he walks you guys back out and back over to the campfire area. You guys have like mugs and, some bread and some cheese or whatever.
I still play innkeeper.
Okay. Okay. So what's the group doing now?
So I'm gonna try and knock on a couple of doors to find the leader.
Yeah, you end up there's 4 rooms upstairs. All the doors are shut. As you come up to the top of the stairs, you can see 2 doors are on the south side and 2 doors are on the north side.
All right, so I'm gonna just use perception to see if I can figure out which room he's in.
Okay. You're listening, but what you're mostly picking up is maybe the people talking outside. You can hear Greybeard's loud voice. You can hear people walking through the inn, but you're not really getting any sense of where this person might be.
It would be rude to barge in. I'm gonna just knock gently on doors until I find until I get an answer. If I don't get any answer from any of them, then I'll just go back downstairs.
Yeah, you don't get an answer from any of the doors.
All right. So I go back downstairs.
Okay. And you can see they're just, I guess, what's the group doing now that they're just eating and drinking mead, just hanging out with the humans at the campfire, or what?
That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
No, I'm meditating in the church. I'm contemplating my goals
Trancing.
for tomorrow. Yeah.
Same. Prancing.
All right, I'm gonna go over to the tower and just kind of ask Galara if she needs a rest or anything. I don't know if she's been up all day, if she's had a chance to rest or not.
And I'll start playing some music while I drink.
Okay. She kind of looks over the edge to you and she said, no, I'm feeling much better now. I can probably stay for another hour or 2, and then I should go check on Sidiri if you want to come back in an hour or 2.
Yeah, okay. So Jarral agrees to come back in about an hour.
Okay.
So he's gonna go sit and just be a sponge, I guess. See if anything happens. Just observe.
Yeah. So they keep to themselves. They listen to the music, and one or two might tap their feet. Maybe one of them has heard the song before. They're not very talkative. You can tell this is a group that doesn't talk to strangers very often or very much. They might murmur amongst each other here and there. They might have a quieted conversation, and usually they have one quiet enough that people aren't really hearing anything. But you get the sense of people that have been traveling, been on the road for several days. They have a campfire now, they're warm, they're eating, and they're resting. And almost in that soldier kind of, when they get to rest, they definitely take advantage of being able to rest.
So I try and I try during breaks between songs or when he's just kind of plucking the strings. I'll just ask Ardreth, a little bit more about himself. Beyond what he's already told us. Anything interesting, where he's from, that sort of stuff.